What is up, guys? I'm Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, here to educate you on health and social well-being. And today, guys, I'm going to be taking you through one of my calf routines, as well as explaining the importance of why I personally believe that everybody, regardless of your genetics, regardless if you're focused on strength, aesthetics, athletics, why everybody should definitely train their calves. So, I'm going to be taking you guys through that. Before we get into that, a few announcements. The first one being, guys, just as a reminder, I am currently 4 weeks out for my next powerlifting meet. I'll be competing August 26th here in Fort Worth, Texas, at the Texas Raw Championships. For those of you who don't know, if you haven't been following me that long, this will be my fourth powerlifting meet. My first meet was at the end of 2015 in November. My second meet was in 2016, and then my latest meet was this past March. So I've managed to get first in my weight class at all three of my previous meets, and even got best pound for pound at my second meet. This is why I'm very excited for this upcoming meet, just because I know it's really gonna push me. I'm not going in, to be honest, with as much confidence in getting first as usual, just because I've seen some of my competition. These are guys who have been lifting for twice as long as I have, or been competing longer than I have, but it's really pushing me. It's really motivating me to go in there and still give it my all, to put everything out there. So whether I get first, second, third, I'm gonna know that I did my best. And this time around, I will be avenging my last meet, because even though I got first, I did not get the 1,300 pound total that I want. So this time the plan is a 1,300 plus total. So just letting you guys know, giving you an update on that. Basically, this week is actually relatively light as far as my prep. It's not a deload, but it's lighter than what last week was, just so I can reduce some fatigue in order to really start peaking and hitting some heavy numbers over the next 2 weeks before I go into my actual deload phase before my week. Now, before my meet, not my week. Now, second announcement is, guys, I will be in Ohio with Chris Jones and some of the other pump chasers, actually the weekend before my powerlifting meet, August the 18th through the 19th. Going to be there for the event that Mark Blinder is holding, as far as just helping to raise money for our veterans for the military. So I will be at that as well. And I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have to say. Let's get into this video. I'm going to go ahead and knock my deadlifts out really quickly. Should probably show you guys a set or two of that, and then let's work on these beautiful calves. Mind you, as I've stated many times, my calves are nothing impressive, guys. I have probably some of the most genetically highly inserted calves that you've ever seen. But with that being said, they are a lot better than what they used to be. If I have a picture, I'll try to find it and post it at some point during this video. I doubt I do, because if you saw what my calves looked like, you would understand why I wouldn't want to take a picture of them. And even now, like I said, they're not impressive, but they're better than what they were. And this routine is something that can help you bring your calves up, regardless of if you have great calf genetics or bad calf genetics in general. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, so jumping right into this voiceover, let's get into the topic at hand, which is why you should train your calves. So before I start, I just want to go ahead and say that yes, deadlifts do technically stimulate your calves. They primarily focus on the soleus more so than gastrocnemius. For those of you who don't know, your calves are made up of two muscle groups: the gastrocnemius, which is the bulgy part that most people consider the calf, and then the soleus is the part below that, which leads into your ankle. But even though it does stimulate it, you are in no way, shape, or form going to maximize hypertrophy or strength in the calves by doing deadlifts alone. I don't care who you are. Even if you have great genetics and your calves already look great, you're still not gonna be able to stimulate much growth with the deadlifts. If you want to maximize growth in that area, you're gonna need to isolate the calves directly. Now that's out the way, let's get into the importance of why you should be training your calves. So first and foremost, for the sake of your health, guys, I think it's important for you guys to understand exactly like what the calves do and what they're for. So understand that like anytime you're running or you're cycling, sprinting, anything like that, that the calf is what allows you to propel the body forward. Anytime that you're lifting your heels, that's part of propulsion. So without your calves, you wouldn't be able to do that. And for this reason, that's why you have athletes who are involved in different sports, especially aerobic sports, why you see them like putting focus on their calves. Or if they're not, that's why they should be. And also understand that it plays an important role in your venous circulation. So basically, every time your calf muscles contract, they compress your veins within that muscles, and that forces the blood to flow upward towards the heart. Every time your calf muscles relax, the veins in the muscles refill with blood from surrounding veins. So for that reason, it's just really important for your circulatory system, as well as just aesthetics and strength. So you want to keep that in mind whenever you decide to neglect your calves, that you're in a sense neglecting the circulation of your blood flow as well, and everything like that. So you want to keep that in mind. Going right more directly into calves themselves
is understanding that you're at a greater risk of injury when you don't train your calves. For one, the calves cross at the knee, and a lot of knee injuries happen due to weaknesses in the calves. A lot of injuries in your Achilles tendon, like getting a ruptured Achilles tendon, happens because of inflexibility in the calf muscles. If you if you don't have strong calves, that's going to negatively impact your stride, even with something as simple as walking, or if you fall at a certain angle and you land on your heel flat, that can cause issues. That's why, when people do box jumps, it's important to step down instead of jumping back down, coming flat-footed, for that exact same reason. And you understand that when you deprive your calves of stretching, the muscles are going to tighten. You're going to have a constricted range of motion, and that's just going to cause issues for your ankles. So it's important to maintain strength and flexibility for that reason. Now that's out the way, let's get into the actual workout itself. As you guys can see, I started off with just bodyweight calf raises, single leg, and what that was, guys, was 3 sets of 20 just to get nice and warmed up. After that, I went into the angled standing calf raise machine. Now, I like this machine because it's similar to a standing calf raise machine, but it just feels a bit more of a natural movement rather than just being straight up and vertical. That's just how I feel personally. Other people may prefer the normal standing calf raise machine, but we don't even have that at the Pump Chasers gym, so this is a great alternative for that, in my opinion. As you guys can see, I'm having a focus with a brief pause at the bottom of the eccentric and then coming up as high as I can onto my toes at the top. The reason for that being, guys, that brief pause is to make sure that I'm not using momentum or that my Achilles tendon isn't doing all the work, but that the muscle fibers are actually being forced to activate and propel me out of the hole. Because as I've explained to you guys, even with things like pause squats and pause bench, when you pause at the bottom of the eccentric, your muscle fibers have to work harder in order to produce the movement. After that, guys, I go into my seated plate loaded calf raises machine. Pretty much, guys, it's the same concept as far as my pacing and my tempo. I'm making sure that I have a brief pause at the bottom, strong contraction coming up to my toes at the top. But the difference between when you're seated and your knees are bent versus when your knees are straight is that it's going to focus more on the soleus and less on the gastrocnemius. And once again, you want to make sure that you're hitting both parts of the calves in order to really maximize muscle growth in that area. I'm showing you guys different views of the movement just so you guys have a good idea of what it should be looking like and kind of like the effect that you can see it has on the calf as far as the contraction. Now, the reason I do this second instead of at the end is because a lot of people neglect the soleus training. So I try to make sure that it's my first or second movement just so I can get it in, because there's really only so many ways you can train it, because there's only, so many seated calf type movements where your knees are bent. So I try to make sure that I prioritize it. And for all these movements that you're seeing, guys, for this day, it's 5 sets of 10, excluding the warm-up with the single leg standing calf raises. So after this, I go into Smith machine calf raises, and this is pretty much what I do since as I said, there is no standing calf raise machine at the Pump Chasers gym. I set a plate up and just stand on it, then have a couple of plates on top of that just to make sure the plate's not moving. Once again, I'm coming all the way down, letting my heels touch the ground, staying there briefly, then coming all the way up on my toes. As far as tempo, guys, I like to have about a 2 to 3 second tempo when I'm coming down, just once again because the calves, guys, understand they're used to being worked, they're used to being trained, because we use them pretty much, like I said, anytime your heel is elevated or coming back down, you're using them. So anytime you're walking, running, you're using your calves. So they're kind of a stubborn muscle group to grow. So I like to hit them with a lot of volume. I like to make sure that I make the movement as hard as possible as far as the tempo. As I've explained before, you're not going to see much difference between a 2 to 3 second tempo and a 6 to 8 second tempo, so you don't have to exaggerate that much, but you do want to make sure that you're having control and getting that good brief pause at the bottom of the eccentric. After this, guys, I go into the leg press. Once again, this is not going to give you much different results from a standing calf raise machine or the Smith machine calf raise, but volume is the name of the game. I'm trying to hit my calves with as much volume as I can, with as many movements as I can, just to make sure that I'm really breaking those fibers down so that I can stimulate maximal growth. Now, this isn't to say that the calves aren't something that you need to keep in mind, consider, to make sure that you're not overtraining them, in the sense of, I suppose, like any muscle group, it is possible to hit them too much, too hard, but most people don't have to worry about that. And like I said, they're very strong and stubborn muscle group, so hitting it with, this many movements for this many sets, honestly, isn't a big deal. And to finish off, guys, it's just 5 sets of bodyweight calf raises using both feet this time, and you're just burning out. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's it for this calf routine. That's it for explaining why I believe you should be training your calves. I hope this helped you all out. Go ahead and give this routine a try and let me know what you all think. Oh, and of course, as always, guys, like any other muscle group, make sure you progressively overload. Regardless of your sets, reps, you have to gradually add weight. I'll talk to you guys next time.
That's pretty much it for this video. I appreciate those of you who stuck around to live through the misery that is my pitiful calf genetics. No, but in all seriousness, I hope this actually helps a lot of you guys out, whether you have good or bad calf genetics. Hope you guys give this routine a try. I know that I didn't have the best angles of showing you how to properly do each workout. I apologize for that. It's kind of difficult doing it by myself, but next time around, if I show you guys one of my other 2 calf routines, I'll definitely make sure I have somebody recording me, just because it makes it a lot easier. Basically, this is what my standard moderate calf day looks like. The other 2 days, one day is an intensity day, so it's pretty much like the same movements, but everything's heavier, and it's in the 5 to 8 rep range, still getting a good full range of motion, brief pause at the bottom, strong traction at the top, but it's just a lot heavier, because once again, for all muscle groups, I believe in using various rep ranges. And then the other day is pretty much more like the truly high volume variation style day. So on that day, everything is no less than 15 reps, so it's around 15 to 20 reps. And then I've been doing a whole lot of single leg calf movements, as well as having my toes pointed inward, having my toes pointed outward. So it's pretty much like a high volume variation day. But this is what my standard calf routine looks like. I train my calves pretty much every other day. As of right now, I'm actually gonna get to the point where I start training them daily, just to kind of test that out, see how that goes. That is something that I actually used to do, and I feel like I would have gotten better results from it had I been training my calves the way that I am now, because back then I kind of just stuck to the standard, standing calf raise machine, 3 sets of 10, and then seated calf raise machine, 3 sets of 10, and that was it. And that gave me some results initially, but not for very long, just because, like I said, or hopefully, as I said, as I pretty much plan to make this whole thing a voiceover, the calves are a pretty stubborn muscle group just due to how much you use them every time you're walking around. But anyway, that's it for the video, guys. Once again, I will be at the Real Weights for Real Heroes event in Ohio with Chris and a few of the other pump chasers on August 19th. So if you guys are interested in that, or interested in donating to the Semper Fi Fund, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link in the description down below. Once again, it's pretty much just to help support, the troops, veterans, which is, to me, is really sad and unfortunate that we even have to have events to raise money for them, because I believe that the government should do a lot better job taking care of the people who are really willing to put their lives on the line. But whole separate topic for a whole separate video, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that down below for you guys in case you're interested in donating. Even just $1, anything you donate helps. That's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment down below, let me know what you did. If you did not enjoy it, leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to get better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch y'all later.